This Logan 855 Platinum Edge Matte Cutter is the best 48-inch model I've ever used for framing work, but let me explain why. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been cutting mats for framing projects for over a decade, and most cutters either feel flimsy or require constant recalibration. The Logan 855 changes that. The base is one solid piece of aluminum, so it doesn't flex when you press down, and the 48-inch cutting path gives you enough room for oversized prints without having to flip the mat halfway through. I recently cut a 30x40-inch mat for a gallery piece, and the blade stayed perfectly straight the whole way, no wobble, no second guessing. The micro-adjustable magnetic stop is a game-saver for repeat cuts. You set it once, lock it in, and every mat comes out identical. I frame a lot of 8x10 prints with a 11x14 window, so I keep the stop at 1.5 inches from the blade. After the first few cuts, I can swap mats in seconds and know the spacing is always consistent. It saved me from having to measure each time, which adds up when you're doing batches. The mat guide is another detail that makes a huge difference. It's not just a fixed rail, it's adjustable, so you can fine-tune the angle based on your blade's wear. I noticed my first few cuts were slightly off-center until I tweaked the guide by a millimeter. Once I got it dialed in, every cut was dead center. That kind of precision matters when you're working with expensive paper stock. The Logan 855 handles both 4-ply and 8-ply mats without any drama. I've used it on everything from standard 4-ply to thick 8-ply museum board, and the blade never skips or tears the surface. The replacement blade, Logan Model 267, is easy to find online, and since it's a standard size, you're not stuck hunting for proprietary parts. That's a relief when you're on a deadline. I also appreciate the built-in safety features. The blade retracts fully when you lift the handle, so there's no exposed edge when you're not cutting. That's a small thing, but it's the kind of detail that makes a tool feel professional rather than jury-rigged. Now, it's not perfect. The initial setup takes a little patience. The instructions are minimal, so you'll need to watch a couple of YouTube videos to get the stops and guide aligned correctly. It's doable, but if you're someone who expects plug and play, it might frustrate you at first. Also, the base is heavy, about 25 pounds, so it's not something you'll be moving around your workspace often. If you need a cutter you can tuck into a corner, this isn't it. But for the price, the build quality, and the precision, it's hard to beat. I've used cheaper cutters that wore out after a year, but this one feels like it'll last decades. If you're framing regularly or selling prints, the Logan 855 is worth the investment. Link is below if you want to see the current price. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Logan 855 Platinum Edge 48-inch matte cutter for professional framing and matting sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like the new Logan Platinum Edge Model 855 matte cutter has it and uses Logan replacement blade Model 267 actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about Logan 855 Platinum Edge 48-inch matte cutter for professional framing and matting is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. That usually matters more than flashy marketing because long-term satisfaction comes from how well the product fits your actual routine, priorities, and expectations once you start using it regularly. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Logan 855 Platinum Edge 48-inch matte cutter for professional framing and matting usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.